And live. I'm back, Mariano, from my tennis session, and it was raining badly. So I called my coach and I say, "Coach, it's raining. I don't know. Are we still playing?" He say, "Of course we play. We live in Brighton. It always rains."
Of
I had
course.
to play. I was sliding like Djokovic, I was like sliding on the hard court. It was crazy. What sports are you into,
Amazing.
Mariano?
Mostly golf.
All right.
I used to do tennis when I was younger, like 12, 13. My mom forced me to play tennis because she thought it was a nice thing. But I'm very into golf. Actually, next year I'm going to play the Ryder Cup. I don't know if you know about the Ryder Cup, which is like the European team against the American team.
Wow,
And
so
there's
you bloody good then.
Well, before the professionals, there's the amateurs day, and it's gonna be super fun. Actually, there's Tom Holland in the European team, which is I think it's from England, and we're gonna play against Michael Jordan, Samuel Jackson, like a lot of crazy people. So it's gonna be super exciting. Yeah, super exciting.
It's
super
true.
exciting.
MJ. I recently watched an interview. It was MJ and Steph Curry just talking about golf.
Yeah,
and
Steph Curry is gonna be in the team too.
Oh my goodness me!
Yeah.
I think they're really good. I don't know. MJ was playing golf since, I don't know, he was a super pro basketball player. He was always into golf. So I imagine he's pretty good.
I don't know if you've seen the documentary, but it's like he said that even after the biggest match and the biggest moment of his career, then always straight after that, golf course.
Into golf.
Yeah.
Crazy. That's fantastic. I mean, so you'll have to practice a lot, I guess, to be kind of competitive.
Yeah. I have a year because it's going to be in Italy, in Rome, 2023. So it's first time the Ryder Cup is going to be done in Italy. So that's why I guess they thought I'm me. So representing Italy, I'm super excited, man. Like I'm good at golf. I love golf, but when they told me about this, I was like, okay, now I have a reason to practice and play. So it's crazy. Very exciting.
And you can't even say to MJ or Steph Curry, "All right, guys, let's give up with golf. Let's go play basketball now." You can't even say that. No. So it's kind of tricky.
Probably it's my best chances in golf.
I remember that I've interviewed Molinari. And it was so funny because it was just COVID just happened. And I said, "What are you doing? I mean, how do you practice? Are you in your villa with your golf court?" And he said, "No,
Francesco
I'm in London."
Eduardo?
Francesco.
Yeah.
Okay. And he said, no, I'm in London. I'm in a flat I bought on Amazon net, and I go to practice in the garden. But people complain because of your noise. It was unreal,
Oh, crazy. Amazing.
Anyway, apart from sport, you do so many things, man. I'm really impressed because I'm usually the one that says, "Oh, I do million of things," and people say, Monty, how can you do this and that and that?" But when I talk with you, I think, wow, you do much more than me, and also a different scale. I'm really impressed. But let's go back 1 second. So, first of all, I think a lot of people know you from your, Instagram. Like you have a trillions followers. I don't know how many you have on Instagram. I mean, you have a lot of followers there. But maybe some people stop there and think, all right, he's one of the influencers there, and they have no idea about what you're doing as an entrepreneur. And now also with the Web3 NFT world. So go back 1 second and tell me how you started, first of all.
That's probably the funniest part. So I started, as you said, as an influencer. That's when basically my life started changing, because I was just a random guy from Perugia, which is a small town in Italy, in Umbria. Beautiful place, but very small, opportunities and chances for a guy, like for a normal guy. So I left my city when I was 18 and I went to London.
Apart from chocolate, of course.
Exactly. But that's a week a year. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So I went to London and started learning English. That's why I went there. But I was a waiter at the beginning. Then when my English got a little bit better, I started working as a sales assistant in a shop. And from there, that's when I started. That's the fun part. It was 2009. That's when I started opening my Facebook page, which was the first page that had, I like this page. You remember? It was like mi piace, And all my friends were saying, like, why would I join the page and say I like your page? You know what I mean? Like, we are friends on the normal page. Why are you doing this page? Because I want to tell my story. I want a page where I'm going to post everything I do. I want to tell the world story of the guy that is traveling the world, because my idea was like, I'm never going to go back to Perugia.
Right.
And all of a sudden, after a year in London, I already had like 7,000 followers on that page, which was a lot because I was just a random guy posting my everyday life. And I was posting like my stuff, being a waiter, myself going to the casting of the fashion agencies, because I was like, oh, maybe I'm going to make some extra money with the, with the model and stuff. And that's where I started having this like crowd. And when Instagram came out, I was probably, I don't want to say like that, of course, I'm not certain, but I was probably the first 10 guys that downloaded the app. Like I literally downloaded the app only to edit photos. So when everybody was going on Instagram, I was already there. So I saw my crowd growing and growing like crazy, until one day I went to the PT, which is a fashion event in Florence, where I used to go with my dad all the time because I love fashion, and he gave me this thing about fashion. It was all because of my dad. And I went there, and the first time I had like 30,000 followers on Instagram, which I didn't realize what it was. And people were stopping me, like, oh, you're the dude that, wears his dad's clothes. Because I was saying out loud, like, I'm wearing my dad's clothes and I'm showing you how to wear it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm showing that's how it was. And so all this happened, and it started to grow even more, until one day I said myself, if there's all these people interested in what I'm doing and what I, suggest people about fashion, why shouldn't I try making my own brand? It's a big call, because it's hard, of course, but I had a lot of people coming to me and saying like, dude, can you wear this? Can you wear that? Can you wear my shoes? Can you wear my pants? And I was like, guys, you're too many. I'm going to university. I'm working at my dad's store. My dad sells cell phones. So I was like, I can do this all the time. I mean, I take photos sometimes in the weekend when I have time, and I do this fashion blog stuff, and I post it on the Instagram, but it's taking a lot of time. If I have to do all of this for all of you, it's going to take time. So I started asking money. I was like, okay, I can do that, but I need to take some of my time off from university and from work. So I need to get something back. That's when the influencer work started. And with the money, the first money, as I told you yesterday, the first money I started making the influencer world, I was, okay, I'm not going to take this and, go on holidays and everything. I'm going to invest this. So let me try make a brand. So 4 years later, I opened my later in 2010. So I invested in my first brand, like the 15,000 euros I had. I invested it in sweaters, t-shirts, and hats. And that's when I opened the first company, which is now the company that today it's like the one behind me with all the guys.
Question.
More or less. Long story short.
How did you do with the photos at the beginning? Were you just doing selfies? You have a friend taking a picture of you? Because then, of course, you evolved and you created a media basically, and so you start to get a team and everything. But how did it work at the beginning?
I think that's what I was kind of smart at the beginning, because I saw what I had as a potential. I always say this in Italian. I don't know how to say it in English. I was antesignano on this. That means I was one of the first that was going with the flag saying like, dude, I have something here. Like I was asking my friends from my city, and the first girl was actually a photographer from Gaeta. I brought her on Instagram, on Facebook, and I told her like, come and see my page. I have 30,000 people following me. If you come and take photos with me because I like your photos, we can do, I'm going to say, you take the photos and you're going to take the photos to me. I need the photos to do this. So I started collaborating with a lot of people that knew to do the stuff. Of course, I had my camera. Of course, my wife, my actual wife, was the one helping me the most, because during the weekend when I had no photographers and nothing, I was doing stuff with her. So I was just putting everything and say, you click the button. But yeah, starting collaborating a lot. And that's when I started to, go to the next level. When my social started to grow like crazy is when I started collaborating with a lot of photographers and video makers around, just showing them and giving them the opportunity to come to my page and get the exposure to, to be famous photographer or whatever, exchanging exposure. That's what I did. And actually, like Sebastiani, the photographer I was telling you about, became a very good photographer because of that. She got known, and for a certain kind of photography, she became very famous. All the guys I worked with now, they have big careers, and I'm happy that I was able to help them that way. But they helped me as well.
Because I always had the feeling that your pictures were very well crafted. You were not the classic influencer. I mean, I don't know if from day one, because I don't know exactly when I started to see you in my radar, but immediately I thought, wow, this is a pro. There is like a strategy behind, there is a vision, there is, it's not just to take a picture and that's it. So I was always impressed by that. And
man, I can say aloud to you when I talk about this, I always say, like, I knew from the beginning what I was going to do, and I had a strategy and I went for it. Like, I was studying how Firefox, which is like Google Chrome, Safari, and Firefox, was working to download the plugins to make me able to invite all my friends on Facebook somewhere else. So I was doing all this stuff, and I was spamming in a good way all the people I had to go like my page, and from the page to go on Instagram. Like, I was trying to do it myself, because I didn't, I'm not a dev, I'm not a tech guy, but I was trying to find my ways. I was starting to have friends with Chiara Ferragni, with this and that. When I saw there was a lot of people around me doing the same stuff, I was the first that went there, like, dude, you're a girl, I'm a guy, let's do it together. I mean, I'm not going to take your work, you're not going to take my work, let's do something together. And that's when I started growing in a row. But I had a strategy, a precise strategy, and that's what I went for. Like, clearly, 100%, what you said, it's totally true.
Another interesting thing that I remember was a few years ago was a tech event, and I remember was like a meeting. I was like the MC of the event, and they do the list of the potential speakers. And I remember someone say, "Oh, let's get Mariano Di Vaio," and the general feedback was, "Oof, it's like." I mean, it's so hard to get him. It's like it's there. And also the second interesting thing was that you were perceived as an international celebrity, not as an Italian. I mean, you were like international, and that's it. And it was interesting this, because usually for Italians, and for instance, we're talking now English, and you'll see people in comments say, "Why do Italians speak English?" It's still, I don't know, this mentality. But it's interesting. So I was curious how much of Italy was in your following, or you were international since day one?
A lot of Italy, but what helped me get into Italy was the foreign following. Like, I've always said that, and it's kind of a sad point at the same time, because the first magazines covers I had were foreign covers. The first interviews I had were foreign interviews. And all the recognition I had in the world, especially in the fashion world, which was the hardest, to be honest, came from outside of Italy. And then only after that came from Italy. Like, I was able, because, and I knew that, I had the feeling, that's what I was saying before, like the strategy, this was part of the strategy as well. I knew that it was going to hard for an Italian guy to get into an Italian audience and get to a certain level in Italy, because that's the way we are in Italy, I guess. So, you don't want to leave space to other people, you're always trying to, I'm here, who are you? Don't take my space. But if you are recognized for something outside of Italy, then Italy says, okay, you can come now. Because someone else outside, that's my feeling, that's the idea I had, and actually kind of worked that way. But yeah, because of the fact that I was speaking in English since the beginning, and I had a lot of comments at the beginning saying like, "Yo, dude, aren't you Italian? What do you speak in English?" People thought I was from Italian regions, but I wasn't Italian because I was speaking in English. So everyone thought I was a guy living somewhere in London or New York, whatever, and I wasn't Italian 100%, you know what I mean? But that was part of a strategy, because I was, okay, Italy is this kind of audience, the world is this kind of audience, better shoot for the stars, for the moon, and then maybe get the stars. So, you know what I mean? So actually, even today, 70% of my following is from outside of Italy. Then, of course, Italy, it's a big percentage because it's 30%. So compared to everything, it's still the biggest part of the cake. But the 70% is foreign people. Like, United States are the biggest one for me. And then the Arab zone, like Dubai and all that, it's like a big part as well. Probably because of the look and the everything.
Got it. Yeah, we have a similar look, so I understand what you mean. But every time I see a picture, you're unbelievably beautiful. I always think, wow, I mean, I would have loved to have your hair, the hair that proper stay like crazy. Another life. Or in the metaverse. Maybe in the metaverse. full Elvis. Like that's my thing.
Your avatar is gonna be like,
Yeah,
Dragon, yeah.
very, very long. How do you call it? Like a mallet or something like that.
Yeah.
Also, I was thinking, fashion is a very hard industry, so it's not a
It is.
very easy sector to enter if you are an outsider. I imagine. I never had really,
100%.
but so I was curious. How was the perception when you started, and how did you find your way in?
Again, I found my way in through like hidden doors. So I went to find doors that weren't really in front of me, because it was easier probably at the beginning to go to the Milan Fashion Week and just go there and try to, you know, be liked by people and be nice to everyone and maybe find my way in. But I actually went the opposite way. Like where I made the biggest moves where like, okay, Fashion Week is going on. Fashion Week is kind of hard for me, even if some stuff, you know, I was invited, of course, but still, like the big shows where I wanted to go wasn't really like, people weren't really like, oh, okay, let's this guy from the counter side join the Milan Fashion Week and give him, you know, credit. It wasn't really like that. So I went to Cannes Film Festival. I went to New York Fashion Week. I went to all the fashion weeks around the world that they would love to have an Italian representation, and they would invite me everywhere, pay me the hotel, the travels, and everything. Dude, I went to the Amphora in New York and I met like the craziest actor. I have photos with Leonardo DiCaprio at the Amphora party. I met Leonardo DiCaprio in this party in Cannes. We were like, you know, smoking together, having fun together and everything. And I couldn't go to the fashion shows in Milan. That's how it worked. But once I did that and all the photos and stuff came out and, you know, I was able to push that in Italy as well, then it started to become a little bit easier in Italy. And I started to be invited to the big shows and work with the big companies and blah, blah, blah. Like Dolce & Gabbana is a big example for me. And I always said that to Stefano and Domenico. It's a beautiful thing. Like we really, like I tried so hard to work with Dolce & Gabbana. Again, it's a big accomplishment for me. I'm not shy about saying that. Like I wanted to work with Dolce & Gabbana. I wanted to be the face of Dolce & Gabbana, of something, whatever it was, even the shoes. Just because for me, Dolce & Gabbana, since I was a kid in London, working there, like the biggest thing you could do in the model agency was, oh, if you be the face of the fragrance of Armani or Dolce & Gabbana, you're like, you're done. So, you know, even if I wasn't doing the entrepreneur stuff, like everything I was doing, still in my head, I was like, okay, if I want to be recognized in the world for something I did model-wise, that's what I need to get. And it was hard. Like they didn't want me at the fashion shows at the beginning. And then one day I was in my dad's house, Sunday, my phone rang. It was like, oh, there's Stefano wanted to talk to you. I was like, Stefano who? Stefano Gabbana. I was like, are you serious? I was like, they didn't want me at a fashion show. I was like, hey, Mariano, how are you? What do you think? Blah, blah, blah. If you'll be the face of K, but Gabbana. I was like, I mean, thank you, man. I'm like, I appreciate it. Thank you for thinking about me. Like, yeah, you're the perfect guy, international, but you represent the Italian family and everything. I was like, totally, 100%, whatever. And then it went like that. But like a year before, I asked to go to the fashion show and it wouldn't let me. I mean, of course, not Stefano and Domenico, but the PR team or whatever.
Sure.
So
that's incredible how it can change. But it also is the power, you know, of having a strong community behind, strong
100%,
following,
100%.
and that's, you know, change immediately the level of impact that you can have. I mean,
100%.
and I think it's very smart that you launch your own stuff. Tell me about it. So the first company that you've launched was clothing company, basically.
Yes.
That you were using, and so you were promoting your own stuff,
Exactly.
basically. Okay.
I had a lot of people coming to me and saying like, dude, as I told you before, can you wear this jacket? Can you wear the shoes? And I saw the brands were always coming back. And even if I was asking more, because my job started to grow, I had to hire a photographer, hired the guy that was taking care about the financial stuff and everything. So of course the expenses became more, asking more, and they were always coming back very happy. And I was like, okay, these people are selling stuff. They are selling things. So let me go deeper into it. And I started investing. I was okay, let me make t-shirts and sweaters and hats, because it was, of course, you know, where you start. 15,000, 2 months, sold everything. 30,000, 60,000. First year, only with the advertising, I'm gonna say it out loud again. I told you, can tell you all the numbers because it's all public. You know, it works in Italy. Only the first year, it was 2014, with the advertising of only of my Instagram account, the company made 450,000 euros, which for a guy of 20, I was 22 years old at the time, 23 years old. I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I mean, very good. Second year invested, and it made the first million. The second year went up to $1 million. So the company became a company with 6 employees, and all the headaches that you can imagine behind it. So from there, I started doing that. And at the beginning, what I did, that's probably a curious part. I didn't say the brand was mine. I just pretended it was a brand, which my people know this, and I don't think anyone got mad at me for this, but I just didn't say I made this company, because again, the feeling I had was, okay, we love you, we support you, we're a big community, but I was scared that someone would say, like, but I don't want to give you money, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to make you build this stuff. I don't know, man. It was a feeling. Maybe it was maybe I would have done better if I said it straight away. But I just started advertising this brand as it was, a brand, not my brand. Only 3 years later, I said it was my brand, and that I founded it and everything. When I went on Forbes, actually, the first time I went on Forbes, everything went public. So.